I call this meeting of the Alvin Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present and that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Texas Government Code 551. Second on our agenda is the introduction of greeters.
Okay. So good evening, board and guests. We're excited that you're here today. We have some greeters from the 2025 STEM Bus interns. So this is a group of outstanding juniors and seniors from across our 4 high schools. These students have dedicated their time and talents to serving as ambassadors for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics through our district's innovative STEM Bus program. As interns, they not only assisted with hands-on STEM outreach and education throughout the community, but they also served as role models for younger students and proud representatives of Alvin ISD's commitment to academic excellence. So please join me in welcoming and thanking our greeters today. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next on our agenda is the invocation and pledge. If you'll please rise and join us. Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight for your guidance, wisdom, and support. We ask that you place your loving hands on our students and staff as they return to school, blessing them with your grace. Continue to remind us that all that we do here tonight, all that we accomplish, is for the greater glory of you and for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Ms. Rives?
Board, we have some guests here to help us with the pledge. These are from Pack 488. The Cub Master is Dr. Mark Spillman. And these scouts are from Pomona, Wilder, York, Merrick, and Brothers Elementaries. So I think one of them wanted to introduce himself.
Good evening. My name is Jacob Spillman Martinez, and we represent Cub Scout Pack 488. I am in 5th grade at Merrick Elementary. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now for the Texas Pledge.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you very much. We appreciate y'all's help today. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. We appreciate y'all. All right, next on the agenda is the superintendent's report.
Okay, board, we're going to start off with our first day recently released video by Mr. Philip Jean.
In 1925, our district opened its doors for the very first time. A century later, those same doors open wide once again, welcoming a new generation of learners.
Got it? Got it. Have a great day.
From the moment the buses roll out, to the smiles in the cafeteria, to those dedicated to keep our schools ready, every member of the Alvin ISD family plays a part in beginning this journey. Today is more than the first day of school. It's the first step in a year of growth, discovery, and accomplishment, built on a 100-year legacy of learning. For a century, we've believed in the power of education to change lives. And this year, together, we write the next chapter of that story.
Good morning.
Welcome back to school, Alvin ISD. Here's to 100 years of excellence and the bright future ahead.
Great job, Phil. So as the video said, we're welcoming our students back. Today was the first day. Yesterday was transition day. And so for our 2025-2026 school year, we will be celebrating the Legacy Trail 100 Years of Alvin ISD with a community event, as Ms. Rives calls it, the Party of the Century. And it will be taking place Saturday, September the 6th, 2025, from 9 a.m. to noon. And it will be at the Alvin ISD Heritage Complex in Iowa Colony on County Road 65. So we look forward to everyone joining us for that celebration, and there'll be more to come and more information put out about that. Celebrating our 100 years, we had a historic start to the Alvin ISD school year with 4 convocations and over 4,000 staff members in attendance. Alvin ISD's 100-year celebration was truly one for the record books. As you can see, Coach Long up there, we had some talent of hula hooping and some other talents that were displayed that day. Thank you for our motivational speaker inspiring us all to focus on the positivity. We also had the Alvin ISD book bus this summer that was out throughout the months of June and July. The Alvin ISD book bus visited over 15 locations, sharing more than 5,000 books and spreading the joy of reading to our students across the community. With the help from 57 guest readers, the book bus connected families to literacy and in July launched its Book and Businesses initiative, which connected families with local businesses and public libraries through the power of literacy. And I know myself, I would happen to be out at Froberg's Farm, and they always incorporate different activities as well with the animals. And so it was a fun, and I know several of you read at different locations multiple times, actually, and our principals and some community leaders. You see Mayor Dan Davis down there as well. So it was a great summer and a great book bus summer recap. Also, speaking of that, we had our STEM bus out, and the students this evening that were greeting the interns, they helped run the summer STEM bus along with Miss Myra Martinez. She was here earlier. I don't know if she's left, but she kind of oversees it, and that's under the direction of Miss Anna Passarella. But Myra kind of takes the lead on the STEM bus. They delivered hands-on learning to nearly 890 students, transforming summer campuses into hubs of innovation. Supported by 52 high school interns, students explored robotics, engineering, and more. And these interns, they actually apply to be interns, and they get interviewed and recommendations from their teachers and things of that nature. So again, legacy of learning, we're looking forward to the next 100 years of Alvin ISD. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda are the student and faculty commendations.
I believe first we have
Yeah.
a video.
Do we? Okay, great.
Yes, I'm sorry. We'll
Sorry.
have a little video
Awesome.
about the
Yes.
100 years. Thank you, Ms. Rives. Sorry, we got Louis going.
Before Alvin became a school district, it needed a home, and that was Alvin, Texas, which was founded in 1872, named after Alvin Morgan, a cattleman hired by the Santa Fe Railroad to supervise the loading and shipping of cattle. The town was originally named for his last name before switching to his first name, since the town of Morgan already existed. In 1881, just a few short years after the town itself was founded, the first school building in Alvin opened its doors. Built from wood and warmed by the community's belief in education, it marked a beginning. By 1893, Alvin officially incorporated, with Alvin High School being built proudly in 1894. 3 years later, in 1897, its first graduating class, 5 young students, stepped into history. The budget for education in 1899, just over $2,200 a year. A modest sum, but it stretched far thanks to a community that believed in its children's futures. In 1910, the first school bond was placed before local voters, a bold statement that Alvin was ready to invest in the generations to come. But progress was not without hardship. The Great Storm of 1900 brought devastation to the Gulf Coast with flooding and destruction that tested every household in every school. Over the years, there were several times that the schools had to close due to storms, but the most significant closure was in December of 1911, when the school was closed until January 1912 because of an outbreak of diphtheria. But students returned, teachers rebuilt, and learning carried on. As the world changed, so did Alvin. Students lived through World War I, watching from afar as global conflict reached even small-town Texas. In those years, classrooms didn't just teach reading, writing, and arithmetic, they taught perseverance. And by 1925, the foundation had been laid. Years of quiet growth, of challenges met, and milestones reached led to one moment that would shape the future: the formation of Alvin Independent School District. This is the story before the story, the preface in a 100-year journey. A journey built on grit, faith, and the belief that every child in Alvin deserved a place to learn, grow, and rise.
Okay, we just wanted to show you a little bit. We're going to take you through the history of Alvin ISD throughout each board meeting, and this was the beginning before the beginning. So just to tell you, a lot of people said, well, we know Alvin ISD is older than 100 years old, and we know we had schools before then, but we were officially incorporated in 1925. So we wanted to give you a little history of that, and we'll continue to give you history throughout the board meetings. So that was just a little glimpse of what's to come.
Awesome,
But we
thank
will move right into our student and staff commendations. And so if we'll, yes, have our board members join us, and when we call your name, please come up and receive your medal. And so we're going to start out with Sea Perch. So 2 Alvin ISD teams qualified for and traveled to Maryland to compete in the 2025 International Sea Perch Challenge. This year's event hosted 181 teams from 4 different countries. Savannah Lakes Elementary represented Alvin ISD in the middle school stock division team. And those members included Nolan Caparetto, thank you. Brooklyn Strickland,
Come on up, y'all.
Jillian Mahab, Masju, and Sahara Elam. So, thank you. I did really get the pronunciations. I am so sorry. I apologize.
Congratulations.
And their teacher sponsors were Kim Karpowitz and Phoebe Connerly. So these are our elementary Sea Perch team winners. Wonderful.
Parents, come on over if you want to get a closer shot in the middle.
Yes, you're welcome to come in the middle. You're welcome. This is about your kids right now, so I forgot to say that. Thank you for saying that.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much. Great job.
Congratulations.
And now, in the high school stock division, Shadow Creek High School earned an impressive 5th place overall. The team included Jason Kao, Caleb Wu, Ave Raminsetti. I'm so sorry if that was not right. And Kaven Sign. And their teacher was Purnima Saride.
Good job, guys.
Wonderful. Congratulations to all the participants and sponsors for their hard work and outstanding performance. So thank you very much.
So we have one staff accommodation. He's on his way, so we'll have to come back to that
Okay.
when he gets here. He got
No
caught up.
problem. All right. You know, if everyone wants to go home for the first day, and I'm sure you've got tons of homework you need to do or a syllabus you might need to read, you're more than welcome to go ahead and go. If not, please join us. Thank you.
All right, all high schools represented. Look at that.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good
Good
night.
night. Good
Thank y'all.
job. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
You too.
Thank y'all.
Congratulations.
Good
Good
job.
Bye,
job.
y'all.
Congratulations.
Bye.
Good night, guys.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Good night. Congratulations.
Thank you. Oops, you okay? Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yep. Thank you.
Oh, yes.
Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, my friend. No problem.
All right, if anybody wants to move from the back to the front, you can do that now, as Mr. Humbird would always say. You're welcome to. There's a lot of open seats. So moving on to the agenda is the open forum, and we do have one for this evening. So we are now in the open forum of the agenda. If you would like to address the board, you should have completed the public participation form and submitted it to the superintendent secretary prior to the meeting according to policy BED local. After I call your name, please come to the podium and state your name and for the purpose of addressing the board. Please understand that you will have 3 minutes to speak, yet if 10 or more speakers have signed up to speak, the board president shall have the discretion to reduce the time to no less than 1 minute based upon time constraints on the conduct of board business. If a translator is needed, you'll be given 6 minutes to speak. I respectfully ask that you make no derogatory statements about any student or staff of Alvin ISD. I ask that you understand that the board cannot take action on your request or comment at this time. However, the president or the designee may refer the request to the superintendent for the review. So tonight, we have one open forum request by Tanya, is it Jabbar, or how do you say your last name? Tanya Jabbar. Jabbar, thank you. All right, if you'll speak your address and then the subject matter, please.
Yes, okay, can you guys hear me really clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So before I introduce myself, my ask today is that this situation be investigated, rectified, so that I can have gainful employment in Alvin ISD. My name is Tanya Jabbar, and I was an Alvin ISD kindergarten teacher for the 2022-23 school year at Wilder Elementary. My students had amazing academic growth and success. My T-test evaluations showed that I was a great teacher. I had to advocate numerous times to be an equal partner on the kindergarten team. Before the school year ended, the kindergarten team and the principal, Cammie Day, left me with no choice, and I had to file a grievance. The grievance was based on a hostile work environment and harassment. My grievance hearing was supposed to be with Ms. Sarita Presley, but because her daughter was in the head kindergarten teacher's class, it was a conflict of interest, and instead, Ms. Fulvia Shaw and Ms. Nancy Hoskins performed my grievance. This year, I applied for a job in Alvin ISD. I interviewed on April 28th. The same day of my interview, Ms. Hicks offered me an ELA/coaching position at Ronald McNair Junior High. Approximately a week later, Ms. Hicks rescinded the offer. The ELA position and several other ELA positions stayed on the Alvin ISD website for the McNair campus for approximately a month later. The offer was not rescinded because the position was filled. I was told in confidence by several reliable sources that fear retaliation from the district, that Sarita Presley and members of the Human Resource Department told Ms. Hicks not to hire me. I applied for the 4th grade ELA position at Shirley Brothers Elementary. After the interview, Principal Jill Miles told me to come in the following week to meet the 4th grade team. I emailed Ms. Miles Monday before the Tuesday I was scheduled to meet her 4th grade team. Ms. Miles told me that she went with another candidate. Again, I was told in confidence by several reliable sources that fear retaliation, that Ms. Presley and members of the Human Resource Department told her not to hire me. I applied for an ELA position at Nolan Ryan Junior High and several other positions at Nolan Ryan. Because I never heard back from the principal for months, I had several teachers email the principal about the jobs that I was applying for. The principal responded to those teachers that emailed her about those positions. For months, she never responded. And again, I was told in confidence by several reliable sources that fear retaliation, that Ms. Presley and members of the HR department was told Ms. Green not to hire me. What I'm currently experiencing is retaliation. I filed a grievance against Ms. Cammie Day and the kindergarten team at Wilder Elementary. It is illegal for Alvin ISD Human Resource Department to retaliate against me and block me.
All right, your time is ended.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. All right, next on our agenda, we have 2 presentations, and the first one is going to be the tax collection report.
So yes, Board, we have Mr. Mike Darlow, attorney with Purdue, Brandon, Fielder, Collins, and Mott, LLP, and he will provide us a report on the 2025 tax collection efforts for Alvin ISD.
Thank you. Good evening. Good to see you again, Ms. Harris. Welcome, Mr. Robertson. Everybody else, good to see you all again. It's hard to believe it's been a year since I was here.
Yeah.
Already?
That's what I asked myself. I was telling somebody today that this is the 42nd tax collection cycle that I'll be working on.
Wow.
I can't believe it. I'm only 39. I don't know how that math works. I appreciate the opportunity to visit with you all tonight to give you an update on our collections activity. My firm is proud to partner with the district. We do our small little part in making sure that the monies that you need get in the door. The county tax office collects the majority of your monies before we get involved, and the information I have for you tonight will confirm the fact that you are getting the money in that you need, and that we're doing our part to bring in some extra dollars as well. So basically, as you know, what we do each year is we reach out and talk to people and try to get them to pay. Occasionally, we have to file lawsuits. Less occasionally, we have to put property up for sale, all in an attempt to get the money that's owed to the district collected. So what I have for you gives you just a snapshot based on the latter part of July of what your delinquent tax roll looked like. Base tax only, it was $5.7 million. That's for all years up through and including 2024. We put it in some different categories. It helps us work it. The largest single category you see there is what we label as action pending, which is primarily 2024 taxes that were turned over to us July 1 of 2025. In July, we mailed out over 10,000 notices countywide to people that owed taxes still for 2024 and prior years, and we're in the midst of that collection cycle. Two other categories I'd like to point out to you are the deferrals. You see you have 19% of the money in deferrals. If you're over 65 or have a disability and get a deferral from the appraisal district, we code the account. We do not reach out to those people. We do check to make sure that everybody that's entitled to the deferral is still receiving it. If somebody passes away or sells the property, we make sure to follow up and see that the taxes get paid. But so in essence, those accounts right now are really not within our ability to collect. And then I'll point out our litigation. When the letters and phone calls don't work, when the payment agreements are broken, we do file litigation. You can see we have 22% of the money in that category. We have a robust collection program in litigation. Just last Friday, we took judgments in over 70 cases, many of which were involving Alvin ISD taxpayers. And we have tax sales generally 10 out of 12 months a year. Our last tax sale was last week. We did have some properties within the district that were on that sale, several of which were paid before the sale, which to me is the best outcome. And those that were not were sold, and now we'll have that money collected and there'll be new owners on those properties. Moving on, I know you've got some other items on your agenda tonight, so let me skip ahead to the third chart, which breaks down the dollars that are owed. How is it broken down by tax year? Again, you can see almost 50% of the money owed to the district is 2024 taxes, again, just turned over to us July 1st. And then you can see for 2023, the dollars and the percentage, and then each year prior to that. So what it points out to me, and from your standpoint, what you're looking at is the newer the delinquency, the more collectible. Waiting does not benefit anybody. And then I've given you historical collections from the year 2020 forward. I can go back to any one of these years that you may have questions on, but I want to show you a quick little trend. So you'll note in 2020, so July 1 of 2021, you had collected all but $2 million of the levy that was assessed for that year. 2021 jumped up a little bit, 2.1 million. 2022 jumped up 2.6 million. 2023 jumped to 3 million, a little over 3 million. And now in 2024, virtually the same amount, 3,074,000. That is all taken into account with the extraordinary growth that the district is experiencing. Your levy is going up way more than the taxes that are remaining delinquent. And so you're collecting on average 98 to 99% of your current levy by the end of June each year. So on this chart, you'll note that 98.3% of the over $180 million that you levied in taxes was collected at the end of June. So we're just dealing with 3 million of it. 3 million important dollars, don't get me wrong, but percentage-wise and in proportion to what you're levying, a very small amount of money. So we think that the activities that we're doing on your behalf are providing a significant benefit to the district. We stand ready to answer any questions that you all may have tonight or tomorrow or down the road that we can answer for you. And we thank you for the opportunity to work for you. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Does the board have any questions or comments? Doesn't look like it. Thank you so much, Mr. Dorlow. We appreciate you.
Thank you. I think Earl wanted to say something.
Oh,
I'm good. I'm good.
Earl? Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
so hey, before we go into the second presentation, I believe we have a young gentleman here, one of our students receiving a commendation, as well as Coach Bass is here. So we'd like to interject this for a second, if no objections.
Okay. So we had a student that came in. If you want to come up and tell us who you are and which
Put him on the
group you were
spot.
with.
Yeah.
That's right. No pressure.
You got a choir, you're going to sing, right?
No pressure.
Sing, no.
Tell us who you are.
Hey everyone, I'm Kaveen from Shadow Creek High School. Oh yeah. And this year we made it. My team made it to 5th in nationals with Seabridge.
Congratulations. We'll get your medal for you and get a photo.
You're welcome to come
And
over
Mom,
here
you're
in a minute.
welcome to stand there in the middle or wherever you want to stand and get a photo as well. We're glad you can make it tonight. It's
Worked out well. Private
tough.
presentation.
That's right. It's tough on that first day of school, but it worked out great.
Just waiting for him to sing.
Yes.
We won't tell the others.
No, secret.
No.
Oh, well,
Take it
Well, if you email us.
his phone? He's got a phone.
And
I know he's got a
communications, we'll get it for you.
There we go.
Oh, did it
School's
work?
out.
There
You can pull it
go.
out.
let him see if he can.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Congratulations.
And next, we want to commend Coach Mike Bass. And so at the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association conference, Coach Bass was honored with the prestigious NFHS Citation Award. This national recognition is awarded to athletic administrators who have made a significant impact on high school activities through outstanding service to the National Federation of State High School Associations or other influential organizations. Recipients of the award are individuals with a long-standing and distinguished record of involvement at both local and state levels and are acknowledged by their peers as leaders and role models within their profession. So please join me in congratulating Coach Bass, who is now nationally recognized.
All right.
Let's get a picture.
We almost thought you were at practice,
With
Coach.
this. Y'all want to go down and get a picture with him or stand back here? What do y'all want?
Yeah, we can do back here. You want to go down? Okay.
Yeah.
Or will y'all step up too?
Oh, yes. Step up. We're supposed to step up behind.
Yeah, some step up, some stay on this floor. There we go.
Is that okay?
Congratulations, and we're very proud of you, Coach Bass, and the work that you do.
Thank you, Coach Bass. I will say that we get calls all the time about him and asking for his opinion about things, and he's well-respected across the state and the nation. So he represents Alvin ISD well, but he's a man of integrity, so thank you, Coach. Appreciate you.
You can't get in the transfer portal, Coach.
No. And there's no money that comes with that either.
Yeah, no NIL deals. There's NIL deals. None. We have no NIL deals.
Thank you so much. Glad to have you all this evening. The second presentation we'll hear this evening is the preliminary 2024-2025 STAAR results.
Yes, Board. So this evening, we have our academic team, and they're going to present preliminary results, because as Mr. Shaw will tell you, the results will be released on Friday, August the 15th, certified, I guess, if we want to say it. So, Mr. Shaw, I'm going to let Ms. Peltier, I guess, start, and then we'll get, and you also have something at your place, but they'll present it, and then you can have it for your reference.
Good evening, Board. Superintendent Nelson. On behalf of the Assessment and Accountability Department and the Curriculum and Instruction Department, we're very excited to be given this opportunity to share with you some of our student outcomes from the 2024-25 school year. Here with me tonight, as Ms. Nelson said, is Mr. Brent Shaw, who's going to share some of our preliminary STAAR results, along with Dr. Shandar Hobbs and Mrs. Fulvia Shaw, who will share the work that the Curriculum Department has done and will continue to do to ensure that our student outcomes continue to improve and increase. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Shaw to begin the presentation.
Good evening, Board.
Did we get a picture of you with your bow tie?
Oh, yeah.
Did we get a picture of
I thought he
you?
had a tuxedo on when he walked in.
I said he is dressed for the presentation. I like it.
All during the meeting, I'm going to be thinking about the.
No, he has Christmas socks on,
Look
too.
great.
Oh, my gosh.
All those. Sorry.
Don't worry about the
Okay.
A
presentation.
very observant board here, I tell you.
All right, hold on, let me start over. Good evening, Board, Superintendent Nelson, parents, staff. I know that we already know that, but guess what day it is, right? I hope everyone in Alvin ISD had a great first day of school. You'll notice this picture is not from today. It's actually from 12 years ago. And the students in this picture celebrated their last first day of school this morning.
Oh,
So, yeah, but please don't start, right? I may be a little biased, but we are extremely excited for all of our seniors this year, as well as all of the other students in our district as we embark on a fresh and exciting new start and an amazing school year. So tonight, as we talk about student outcomes, one data measure that school districts disaggregate each school year is the STAAR results. The State of Texas Assessment Academic Readiness of STAAR is a standardized test given each year to all students in grades 3 through 8 and to high school students in end-of-course subjects. The STAAR assessment is a summative test that assesses student learning for the school year. The results of the STAAR assessment is a measure of student outcomes that the district uses in our continuous improvement cycle. It is a measure of student achievement, but we realize that it's not the only measure of student achievement. So before we actually look at some of the data, we just wanted to review with you that TA has set 4 STAAR performance level descriptors used in scoring the actual test. The first is did not meet grade level. These students are students that did not demonstrate a sufficient understanding of the TEKS and are unlikely to succeed in the next grade level or course without significant academic interventions. The next is the approaches grade level, and this is the level that the state recognizes as passing the STAAR. These students generally demonstrate the ability to apply the TEKS and are likely to succeed in the next grade level or course with targeted academic interventions. The next is meets grade level. These students generally demonstrated the ability to think critically and apply the TEKS and have a high likelihood of success in the next grade level or course, but some may need short-term targeted academic interventions. And then the last, which is the master's grade level, that is the top level of performance on the STAAR. These students demonstrate the ability to think critically and apply the TEKS in varied contexts, both familiar and unfamiliar, and are expected to succeed in the next grade level or course with little or no academic interventions. So getting into our STAAR results from last year, we are excited to share the 2025 STAAR results, which does show an increase from the 24 results. In this first chart, this shows the district comparison for the percentage of students that performed at the approaches grade level and above. So this would include students that were at the approaches, plus the meets, plus the masters. If you look at the chart, our 25 scores are represented with the blue bar, and our 24 scores are represented with the orange bar. And as you go from left to right, that first set of data is our all tests. So this is all of the tests that students took in grades 3 through 5 and our end of course. That's all of those combined. And then as you go from left to right, it is broken down by subject area, reading, math, science, and social studies. And as you look across these percentages, you'll notice the comparison of our scores from this year to last year, 25 to 24. We did increase in each subject area for our approaches grade level and higher. So what that actually means, right, we had more students pass and we had less students that did not pass the test. This next chart shows the meets grade level and above. So this would be our meets plus our masters percentages. Same thing, if you look at the blue, that's our 25 results. 24 is the orange. And as you go from left to right, looking at all tests, we did increase. Reading and math and science, we also had increases at our meets and above. And if you notice, social studies maintained the same level from 2024. And then this last chart is our masters. These are the percentage of students that met the highest level of performance on the STAAR. Once again, going from left to right, you'll see that for all tests combined, we had an increase, as well as reading, math, science, and social studies, of the students performing at the top level of masters on the STAAR test in 2025. So looking at the same type of data, just looking at it in a different way, we've disaggregated the data also in looking at the percentage of students that performed in each performance level. So in these data tables, you will see that this is the percentage that only performed in the did not meet, only performed in the approaches, only performed in the meets, and only performed in the masters. The top row, of course, is our all students combined. Going back to what we had said earlier, we had less students that did not meet, so we had more students pass. And as you go from left to right, we were able to move more students to that master's level, which is the highest performance on the assessment. Same thing for reading. It's in that middle column, our middle row. We had less students that did not pass, and we moved more students to the right to that master's level. Same thing for math. And then followed by science and social studies, the same trend. We had less students that failed, more students that passed, and we were able to move more students to that master level from 25 to 24. So looking at another set of student outcomes, we want to do just a quick summary of the House Bill 25, House Bill 3 goals. House Bill 3 goals, just to remind you, are goals that are set for 5 years in third grade reading STAAR, third grade math STAAR, and college, career, and military readiness. Our campuses have been reviewing the data from last year with campus staff, and they're currently finalizing the goals for the academic school year to improve student outcomes. Not only in our House Bill 3 goals, but also in our campus performance objectives. In October, Dr. Flowers and I will be presenting a more detailed presentation on the evaluation of all of our 2025 House Bill 3 goals. We'll also be submitting the 2026 to 2031 House Bill 3 goals recalibration, because we are at the end of the first 5 years of those House Bill 3 goals that y'all have approved, along with the 2025-26 district and campus performance objectives for board approval. So that will be coming up in October. But just for a quick summary for our House Bill 3 goals, in looking at our third grade reading STAAR, in 2025, y'all approved a target of 59% meets and above. Our 25 data shows that we were at the 60% meets and above
for the third grade reading. So we did exceed our target set for 2025 for third grade reading. For third grade math, we had the target of 50% meets or above. And our 2025 data shows that 53% last year met and above, exceeding the House Bill 3 goal set for 2025 for third grade math. And then college, career, and military readiness, we had a 2025 target of 78% students meeting that. Those would be seniors meeting CCMR criteria. And our 2025 data showed that 81% of our graduates met CCMR criteria. Moving on to our A through F ratings, as Superintendent Nelson said earlier, later this week, TEA will officially release some accountability numbers, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. But just kind of a history or an overview of our district and campus ratings and how they are calculated. Starting in 2019, the TEA began assigning letter grades to campuses and districts throughout the state. These ratings are based on academic performance on STAAR at the elementary and junior high levels, with graduation and CCMR rates added at the high schools. Campuses are rated in 3 domains, and to calculate an overall rating, TEA uses the best score of Domain 1, Domain 2A, or Domain 2B, and they calculate that best score at 70%. And then the remaining 30% is the campus's or the district's Domain 3 score. Starting in 2023, the district ratings are based on proportional weighting method to calculate the district domains. The weighting is based on the enrollment for each campus for grades 3 through 12, which means the larger the campus, the larger the impact that the campus has on the district ratings. So for the highest enrollment campuses in Alvin ISD, we have our high schools. So our high schools make the biggest impact on the district's overall ratings. Just a real quick domains overview, just to let you know what is contained in each of these domains. In Domain 1 is our student achievement on STAAR. This looks at campuses' approaches plus their meets plus their masters percentages on the STAAR at the elementary and junior high, and then adds the graduation and CCMR rates for the high schools. Domain 2 has 2 indicators. The first one is school progress for growth, and this looks at student growth on the STAAR reading and math from previous year to current year. So this is measuring students that performed in 24 compared to 25 to see if they moved a level of one of the 4 levels that the state has set for the passing standards. Domain 2B is relative performance, and that looks at the student achievement calculation for a campus compared to similar schools with the exact same economically disadvantaged percentages. And then lastly, closing the gaps, Domain 3, it uses federal targets in STAAR meets and above for reading and math, STAAR growth for reading and math, TELPAS, graduation and CCMR for high schools to evaluate 4 student groups. And those 4 student groups are the all student groups, the 2 lowest performing ethnicities from the previous school year, and then also the high focus group. And that high focus group is contained of students that are economically disadvantaged, special education, emergent bilingual, and highly mobile students. Just to discuss the academic rating level descriptors, and this is TEA's definition. So an A is equivalent to exemplary performance, which indicates a high level of achievement at a campus or a district. The B is equivalent to recognized performance, which signifies good achievement at a campus or district. A C is equivalent to acceptable performance, which represents average achievement at a campus or district. A D is equivalent to in need of improvement, which indicates performance that needs attention at a campus or district. And then F is equivalent to unacceptable performance, which signifies a level of performance below expectations at a campus or district. So when looking at our 24 and 25 preliminary ratings, we did add 24 in there. If we do a little history lesson, if you remember back in 23 and 24, there were lawsuits against TEA on releasing those ratings for the districts across the state. Several months ago, the state got a ruling that they were allowed to release the 23 ratings. We did share those with you a few months ago as they were released. And then a few weeks ago, they received permission to release from the courts the 24 ratings. So what they decided to do, TEA will release the 24 and 25 ratings simultaneously. So this week, starting tomorrow, August 13th, the districts will receive preliminary ratings released in the secured TEAL application. Those ratings on Friday, August 15th, will be released to the public on texasschools.org. And then in December, TEA will make those preliminary ratings final once they've had a chance to review and make decisions on any appeals that are filed by the districts. All right, so our 25 Alvin ISD preliminary ratings. So as Superintendent Nelson said, official ratings are not released until tomorrow, so anything that we're sharing with you tonight as far as ratings are all calculated in-house. We use templates, we used some third-party software. We did the best that we can, and so this is in good faith, giving you what we have calculated. I always say we have a standard error measure of plus 1 or 2 percentage points, but this is what we've calculated for the district and then for the campuses. For our overall district ratings for 2025, we're projecting that when the state releases later this week, that the district will have an overall rating of an 84 for 2025. Simultaneously, when they release the 24 ratings, we are projecting that we would receive a 82 for the 24 school year. So as you can see earlier when we talked about the increase in our approaches, meets, and masters, that is one of the reasons for that increase. But we also increased our CCMR, and we also increased our graduation rates, which are all components of the calculation of an overall district rating. In looking at our 25 overall projected campus ratings, right, so we did this for the 30-plus campuses. We did the best that we can. But in looking at the 24-25 ratings, in that second column is what we are projecting to get in the 24 school year. And then in the last column is what we're projecting to get in the 25 school year. So on this table, I like to start from the bottom up. In 24, you can see that we're projected to have 1 D campus. And in 25, we are projected to have 0. In 24, for C campuses, we're projected to have 15. And we decreased that by 10 in 2025 and projected to have 5. For our B-rated campuses in 24, projected to have 9, to have 20 in 2025. And then for our A-rated campuses, projected to have 7 in 2024 and 2025 to have 9. So as you can see, we've definitely, over the past year, with some of the hard work from the campuses, have improved those ratings from the 24 to the 25 school year. One other caveat I will say for those of you that have mathematically inclined and got out your calculator, the 24 amount of campuses does not equal the 25 amount of campuses. And the reason for that is because last year we opened 2 new campuses. If you remember, we opened Barbara Bennett Elementary, and we also added Iowa Colony Junior High. And so that's why we have 2 more campuses in that 2025 column. So at this point, I do want to say that it's great news as far as moving those campuses up. But we really want to express our sincere appreciation to all of our teachers for the time, dedication, and effort they invest in improving student learning, and for believing in every one of our students. We also want to thank the campus and district administrators for meeting the needs of our campus staff. We want to thank our students for their presence and hard work. We want to thank our superintendent for her outstanding leadership. And most importantly, we want to thank the Board of Trustees for their unwavering support for each student, each program, and each staff member. So thank you all very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shaw. We appreciate that report.
Still have more.
Do we? Oh,
Yes.
Sorry, we still have
okay.
still have about an hour
That was a heck
left.
of a wrap-up,
I
so
know, that
I'm
was
sorry,
great
you
on
just
his
nailed
Should have
it.
just clapped.
If we need
I
to
was
take
like,
a break,
wow.
we can take a break.
No, no. I'm so
That's great,
sorry.
though. Thank you.
That was a
Still
great
have more?
wrap-up.
Yeah, it was good.
Really like this quote, and it's by the president of NWA. It states, "A test alone never changed a kid's life. It's what happens after the assessment that makes all the difference." So while it is important to disaggregate the student data and student outcomes, what truly makes the impact on student learning is what do you do after the assessment and what do you do with the data. And we're not talking about just STAAR data. We're talking about all of the data that leads up to that sum of it assessment. So we're talking about the beginning of year DRA assessments. We're talking about teacher unit tests. We're talking about midterms. We're talking about interims. We're talking about campus-based assessments. We're talking about NWA MAP. We're talking about iReady. All of the tools that teacher uses in order to differentiate the student instruction. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Shaw and Dr. Hobbs, and they're going to share the plan for this year to continue our student academic growth.
Oh, wait, there's more. Good evening, board. I am going to share with you what we have been doing and what we are doing this year to improve student outcomes. So in planning for our continuous plan to improve student outcomes, I'm going to look through the lens of curriculum, content, and instructional coaching. So when it comes to curriculum, we need to be aware that we have no new district initiatives. We're not adding anything new to the plate this year. This allows us to train and retrain and go deeper with our instructional practices and be more thorough with our implementation. So here are 4 instructional practices that we're going to keep continuing with, and we're going to hold tight in our district because we believe these research-based practices are good for all students. 7 steps. This is our instructional framework that promotes student engagement and language and literacy development. Tier 1, when we're talking about Tier 1, this refers to our high-quality, whole-class instruction that's delivered to all of our students. This is where the teacher introduces new concepts and skills. We also refer to it as our first teach. Formative assessments. This is our ongoing process that happens during and after Tier 1. This is where we see that the teacher uses a variety of tools to collect data and is constantly checking for understanding all along the way. Small group instruction. This is based on the data that the teacher took from the formative assessment. The teacher forms groups of students with similar needs. The instruction in this group is targeted and differentiated to address specific learning gaps. And so now we'll talk about math. When it comes to math, through the lens of content, we're going to focus on building mathematical capacity in our teachers through vertical alignment and grade level coherence. This is a follow-up from our work from our 25-26 Summer Academy, and this will be ongoing through year-long professional learning and curriculum previews. When we talk about the work of the vertical alignment, this will ensure that we have consistency in instruction, reduce misconceptions, and support student success across all levels. We're going to monitor and support the use of problem-solving model to ensure transfer of skills to STAAR-like items. And by that, we mean it's about the process. It's not just about getting the right answer. It's building on those critical thinking skills that we want all students to have. When it comes to curriculum, we're making responsive adjustments that support standards in low-performing areas. We're going to continue to prioritize district initiatives, including small group instruction, initial instruction, which we called our Tier 1, and formative assessments at all levels. Digital applications like Imagine Math at the elementary level, iReady at the junior high level, and iExcel at the high school level will be used to support unfinished learning and the application of skills in similar design as our STAAR assessment. In science and looking at our content, we're updating the scope and sequence based on student performance data to align with our new science TEKS. We're using our curriculum previews and professional learning days to extend the work of our 2025 Summer Academy, building teacher capacity for high-quality science instruction, and this includes our 3D learning. When we talk about 3D learning in science, we're talking about our students, moving our students from being passive consumers of scientific information to active creators of scientific knowledge. It's a shift from learning about science to doing science. In our curriculum for science, within our curriculum, we will provide model lessons connecting hands-on practice, big ideas, and content knowledge using district instructional priorities which support effective implementation of the new TEKS. Our curriculum also provides opportunities for students to read, write, and build academic vocabulary in science through purposeful instruction. This also supports our literacy when it comes to our literacy belief when it comes to reading and writing across all content areas. And none of this work would be able to happen without our instructional coaches. We are committed to the ongoing support of our instructional coaches who serve as our district and campus liaisons. They facilitate communication with all of our stakeholders, our parents, our students, our teachers, and the effective implementation of curriculum on campus. We support our instructional coaches by them attending professional learning every Friday with a focus on content, curriculum, and coaching. This training, along with them participating in learning walks with the principal and curriculum coordinators, allows them to ensure that they're providing specific targeted support, and it also allows them to build capacity on how to appropriately give feedback to their teachers. And now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Hobbs, who's going to go over social studies, our RLA, and our continuous improvement plan for student outcomes.
Good evening. The beauty of social studies is that it is civics and everyone needs it, but the one thing about social studies is that our TEKS are different every single year. But the one thing that is the same every year are what we call our processing standards, and that's having kids think critically about social studies and history. And so we have vertically aligned our processing standards from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. And so we're very proud of that work, and we want to continue that work because that is what helps build student discourse, it helps build academic vocabulary, and those two things are very critical in and our ability to see student outcomes continue to increase in social studies. We also have a daily reading and writing in social studies, not like you do in your RLA classroom, but like you do as a historian, what that would look like in history. Again, just to let you know that there is a writing component on the social studies exam, and so we want to make sure that we connect that you don't just read and write in your RLA classroom. You read and write across your entire day, throughout your entire school day. In reading language arts, we will continue to work on the gradual release of responsibility, much like Ms. Shaw was talking about, that direct instruction, that's our Tier 1 instruction. But it doesn't stop there. It's how do we release the responsibility to the students to take on the learning and then be responsible for that. So we want to make sure that our teachers have the ability to gradually release the learning to them, but then also that they have the content knowledge to make sure that that Tier 1, that direct instruction the first time, is correct. And so we've spent a lot of time this year building that content knowledge through summer academies, and we'll do it throughout the rest of the school year with our curriculum previews. We are excited. We'll be having our celebrations for our summer reading incentives. Our Read, Write, Repeat has been our logo for the last couple of years because that's what we want kids to do. Find a book, anything of your choice, and read it, do a little bit of writing about it, and repeat it. Read the same book again, go find a new one. And so we will be getting to have those celebrations. You'll see those pictures coming soon. With curriculum, we continue to make adjustments whenever they need. The beauty of Alvin ISD curriculum is that it's written in-house, and we can adjust it at any time. We can add additional resources to support low-performing areas, or we can change. We can walk into a classroom and see that a lesson isn't working. We can go right back and make those adjustments through the use of our instructional coaches, through the use of our instructional leaders, our principals and assistant principals on campuses, and our teachers that understand that we are just here to support them in all that they do. We will continue the work of calibrating our writing samples. It's a practice Alvin ISD has done for years, and we've been very intentional of having teachers come together and look at each other's samples, being very vulnerable, but also know that this is a moment of collaboration and that we are all in this together when we're looking at what the state is requiring for the extended constructed response, or the ECR, on all of our RLA exams. And so we want to make sure that we are providing students with the skills and strategies they need to be successful on STAAR, but that we're also giving them opportunities to write in all of the other genres, because that's just a very small chunk of what you're going to do. Real life writing is going to look very different than that, and that's our goal, to make sure that you are prepared to be a writer beyond the STAAR exam. So what are some things that have been working for us, and we'll continue to put our time and energy there? Our instructional coaches, again, thank you so much for your support on that. We know that it is huge when it comes to the budget, but we also know that they are job-embedded support for every single teacher every single day. And the fact that when changes are needed, we can make them quickly because we have that presence on campus. We're also building their expertise so they can build teacher expertise. We will continue to do curriculum previews where we're going to give every teacher a little small snippet of what's coming in that next grading period, and we always focus on the hardest to teach standards in order to make sure that teachers are best prepared to go back and teach. Our learning walks will continue where we have the opportunity to walk with campus administrators, with instructional coaches, and walk through classrooms and collect data. For Ms. Shaw and myself, that data that we collect across the district, we come back, we calibrate that, and that is where we decide where our priorities are going to land. That decides what we're going to do for professional development, and it decides what our focus will be for the following school year. Responsive adjustments to our curriculum, again, the beauty of our in-house curriculum, and then continuous data analysis, and we have continued to see the use of internal data walls for all of our campuses, what an impact that makes on our student growth. Last year, we talked to you about this. We started what we call our priority campus work. We were very focused. Every campus has a priority number, and every one of us in our department has a campus, and we go out and we spend time with them based on their priority. All of our priority 1 campuses made growth this year, so we know that that work is really important. And through our priority work, that really determined what our focus was going to be for this school year, because we were present on those campuses. We really had an understanding of what leaders needed, of what our teachers needed. And so we continue that work. It all starts back up in the next couple of weeks, and so we're excited about getting to be part of the growth on each of those campuses. So that work led us into our focus for this year. Part of our priority visits, sometimes we visited classrooms, sometimes we visited teacher planning, and sometimes we visited professional learning communities, and we noticed some discrepancies across the district and professional learning communities. So we have made the choice to make that our focus for our instructional leaders' growth this year. So anytime we have an instructional focus meeting with our principals or assistant principals, we will be focused on professional learning communities. We call it professional learning communities the Alvin ISD way. We know we do things a little different here, and we want to make sure that we set some high expectations. So through shared goals and continuous improvement cycle, we hope to continue to see those outcomes grow. We know it will, because we know truly when teachers collaborate together and the teachers have the ownership of their data, that's when students really grow. And so it's our job to make sure that we support that process. And so that is our focus for this year. So what have we done, and what will we continue to do? Consistency. We know the things that are working. We are going to continue to put our time and effort into those areas. We're going to continue to reflect on our practices. We're going to continue to have our teachers, our instructional coaches, and our leaders reflect on those practices as well. We talk a lot about letting go of the things that are not working so that we make sure we spend our time on the things that really are moving students forward. We're going to continue to monitor and give feedback. We know that in a lot of education research, the big thing it tells us we don't do well is we don't monitor and we don't give feedback. And so Alvin ISD is committed to making sure that we are monitoring those pieces and giving feedback and constructive feedback to help move teachers forward, to help move leaders forward, and alignment. I hope that you heard the alignment between Ms. Shaw and myself, and that all of our content areas are aligned in what we expect for students, our alignment in how we support our instructional coaches and how we support our instructional leaders. So thank you for this opportunity to share this information with you. We are very excited for this school year to start, and I would like to open the floor if you have any questions.
Board, do you have any questions or comments?
I'll share.
I was going to say, I do.
Oh.
No. You can. I was just allowing whoever to go first.
First of all, Brent, you have set the bar for presentation attire. Outstanding for your first day, sir. But particularly, for myself, I know I've asked some challenging questions about our academic data and progress, and this is amazing to see because I know what we're capable of, and I know students are their most resilient while they're in our care. And to see two things in particular, the CCMR, and I was glancing through here, since 2018, we're up by 32%. I mean, that's just outstanding. And our campus grades, that was one thing that I had a concern about, us moving the needle up from C's to B's to A's and going from 15 campuses that are C rated to 20 now, or 5, down to 5 and 20 at that B level. I mean, I just know we're moving in the right direction. So I appreciate each of you all and our teachers that put in the hard work every day, because I know these students are capable of doing it, and the work is paying off. So thank you.
So I think after Brett gave his presentation, I had a couple questions. I was jotting them down, right? And then when Fuvia went up, then I realized, oh, you guys answered those questions. So I was pretty excited, because it was, how are we going to get there? What are we going to do, right? What do we, how did we get these results? And I was super impressed about our CCMR improvement. And not just about from year to year, but when I took a look at the preliminary results, that's the highest CCMR we've had in over 10 years, ever. That's the highest preliminary results that we've had with the raw STAAR score rating. But here's the interesting thing. Our economically disadvantaged went up. And before, we kept saying, well, we have economically disadvantaged. And when we took that out of the equation and started to really focus and think about what else can we do, we did some amazing things. I'm super impressed at what you guys have done and what you will do, and your focus around, all of the things that you guys have done. So, I mean, just kudos to you, not just for 24, 25, but over a 10-year span. That was phenomenal.
I just really would like to say thank you to our instructional leaders on campus and the teachers, because it's the systems that get put into place, right? And when those systems are put into place and the monitoring and the feedback is there, the consistency is there. So
Absolutely.
It truly is a team.
So there was one acronym we used, and I know you guys talked about what we will continue to do that we put into place, and one of them was POP. So are one of those 4 considered the POP?
So that the POP is our problem of practice, and so we work with every instructional leader has a problem of practice that they're focused on. And so a couple of things we've asked them, that part of our priority visits, we talk to them about their POP to make sure they're keeping up with their data and monitoring. And then we've also asked them with their problem of practice to be the leader of the PLC for their problem of practice. So everything that we're talking about, and we're talking about the Alvin ISD way for professional learning communities, they're putting into practice with their problem of practice. So we're trying
it could be attendance for that campus. That's what they want to focus on, or discipline, or things. So it's up to whatever the campus needs.
Big focus on
Specific, yeah.
on content. So we asked each of our content leaders to take whatever the biggest issue is in their content and how we move those student outcomes forward in that.
Awesome. I know that was something that we created and we put in place.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to know if you guys contributed that to a part of your success. So.
Absolutely. And we, at our July meeting with our instructional leaders, we had them bring their data and say, did you meet your POP goal or not, your problem of practice goal or not? And so many of them did, right? And then some of them said, these are the things I need to do differently, and that's going to be my POP for this year. And so that continuous improvement cycle.
And then one last thing. I just remember earlier this year, and I don't remember the month specifically, but we were in this same place and we were saying, we were trending, or we were saying or predicting that we were not going to meet expectations in math, and we were not going to meet expectations, and here we are now. You know what I mean? So I'm kudos to you guys. Congratulations.
Great job.
Yes, great job.
I have a question. It's actually a good one. When I looked at the data, and I saw recently, I shared with some of the board members, our relative performance has gone up, even though the academic performance has stayed in the same neighborhood. We saw that big lever of the CCMR going up. So many of these goals address what we're going to do academically there, but looking through the secondary lens, and we have 4 of our secondary high school principals here, what are the goals for us to continue to push CCMR-wise, since we know that that is a heavy weight on the accountability to get the district to jump and hopefully to that A in the next year. But what are the things that we're putting in place for CCMR to help us make those big strides?
Mr. Shaw.
Great question. If you look at the handout that is at your tape, in front of you. Turn to page 12. Underneath key observations, you'll see a planning. And we've listed 6 things that we are going to do for this year to increase our CCMR even more.
All right, that answers my question. Read. That's what he wanted to say.
It's fundamental.
Thank you. And then in October, when Dr. Flowers and I present, we'll expand on this a little bit more, and we'll be able to answer that question.
Awesome, thank you. Thank you for the presentation.
And I'm just going to add a comment. Ditto on everything the board said. I happen to hear a lot of the noise closer to home with friends, and you know how that goes. And I just want to tell the teachers that we appreciate everything you're doing in the classroom. We know the trickle down and how sometimes the assumption of the board and what the state does. And I just want to give kudos to all of our staff for everything that you've done, because there's so much noise at the state level, and it's proof here that we've been able to, go through, not listen to that noise and focus on what we needed to do. And I know the teachers are working very hard. I know the PLCs are sometimes grueling, but I appreciate everything that the campuses are doing. And we hear you, and we understand you, and we appreciate you.
Any other questions or comments? All right, then. Thank you very much, and that is the end of the presentation then.
Thank you.
Now we're done.
Again, your bow tie on that was perfect. How you like the bow tie injection there? All right, y'all, next on the agenda is a request to consider approval of consent agenda items A through J. And before we can, I'll entertain a motion. I do need to know if any board members would like to pull any agenda items for individual consideration. All right, I don't hear any of that, so I will entertain a motion. Oh, excuse me, Madam Superintendent, I didn't let you read the fly sheet. I was so excited about the bow tie and all the wrapping up.
Oh,
All disheveled.
no, that's fine. I mean.
Brett has us all over the
He
place.
Consent
does.
agenda items are presented for board approval, A through J.
Thank
There
you.
wasn't anything on the next page.
Thank you very much. So I will entertain a motion for the board to approve
I move we approve.
the consent agenda items A through J as presented.
I move we approve consent agenda items A through J as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Humbird. All right, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Sorry for that faux pas, folks. I didn't have the superintendent read the fly sheet. All right, moving on to the agenda. Next is a request to consider approval of award of contracts for CM at Risk for Alvin High School renovation and expansion project.
Get to that. Sorry, I was reading the budget amendment still. Okay, board, the construction manager at risk, what we refer to as the CM at risk contract delivery method, was previously approved by the Board of Trustees for this project. Legal advertisements were placed in accordance with state law, and on July the 1st, 4 general contractors submitted their qualifications for review. Using criteria as prescribed in the project specifications, 2 general contractors were selected for project team interviews and submission of proposed fees. The final selection of construction manager at risk for this project was based on a combined evaluation of qualifications and a cost of services to determine the best value to the district. Approval for a guaranteed maximum price for the construction services of each phase of the project will be requested at a future date. So we're asking for consideration for approval of the contract.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion for the board to approve a contract award to Stewart Builders and authorize the superintendent to review and execute the final negotiated contract.
I move that the board consider and approve a contract award to Stewart Builders and authorize the superintendent to review and execute the final negotiated contract.
Thank you, Mr. Garza. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Scott. All right, is there any questions or comments? Hearing none, then all in favor of approving the contract to award Stewart Builders and authorize the superintendent to review and execute the final negotiated contract? Thank you very much. The motion passes 7-0. Moving on to the next agenda item is the request to consider approval of TASB Policy Update 125.
So Board, the Update 125 has been reviewed by both Cabinet as well as Board of Trustees. Administration's asking for approval of the following for TASB Policy Update 125. The legal policies that are included, as well as local policy revisions to BDAA, BDB, BDF, EI, FDE, FEC, FFAC.
Wow, that was a mouthful. Thank you so much. I will entertain a motion for the board to approve TASB Policy Update 125 as noted above.
I move that the board approves TASB policy update 125 as noted above.
Thank you, Mr. Roberson. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mr. Garza. All right, is there any questions or comments? Hearing none, then all of approving TASB Policy Update 125 as noted above. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. On to the next agenda item, the request to consider approval of revision to policy BE Local.
So Board recommended changes to BE Local reflect the change in practice for the meeting time for the regular meeting. Note there will be future updates in this policy through TASB due to changes from the 89th legislative session.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion to approve the revisions to policy BE Local as noted.
I move that the board approve the revisions to policy B local as noted.
Thank you. Mr. Roberson, is there a second? Thank you, Mr. Johnson. All right, we have a first by Mr. Roberson, a second by Mr. Johnson. Are there any questions and comments? Hearing none, then, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 7-0. All right, next on the agenda is the request to consider naming a delegate and alternate for the TASB 2025 Delegate Assembly.
So Board annually approves a delegate and an alternate to represent Alvin ISD at the TASB Fall Conference, which will be held in Houston, Texas, September the 12th through September the 4th, 2025.
Thank you. Okay, so we need to, first of all, get some nominations here. So it's now time to nominate a delegate and alternate delegate for the 2025 TASB Delegate Assembly. At this time, I will open for nominees, beginning with the delegate. We will vote for the alternate separately. Also note that we will vote for the delegate and alternates in order in which the nominations were received. As a reminder on how to make a nomination, as an example, I move to nominate such and such for the 2025 TASB delegate. So who would like to make some nominations?
I move to nominate myself as delegate to the Alvin ISD TASB Fall Conference.
Okay, is any,
I move to nominate Earl Humbert as the TASB delegate. That's all, he beat me to it.
before we do that though, is there anybody else that wants to be considered for delegate? And then you can make that motion. So is there any other names that we want to do any consideration with? All right, then, hearing none, I will entertain a motion. We have nominations now for Earl Humbert to be the delegate for the 2025 TASB Delegate Assembly. So is there a motion?
I make a motion for Earl Humbert to be the TASA delegate for 2025.
Thank you. You did good. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Garza. Okay, so we have a first by Ms. Swinney and a second by Mr. Garza to nominate Earl Humbert as the 2025 TASB delegate. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, then.
Wait, is he like the sack lunch that comes with it?
Shh, don't tell him, don't remind him of
And
that,
the
okay?
apple.
And an apple.
And a bottle of water. So, all right, any questions or comments? I'm not seeing anything, so I actually should have said the floor closed when we were asking for nominations. I'm so sorry for not making that statement. So then, all in favor of approving Earl Humbert as the 2025 TASB delegate? Motion carries 7-0. Congratulations, Mr. Humbert, on the sack lunch as well. All right, y'all, so we need to do the same process for alternate. So I will open to receive nominations as the 2025 TASB alternate delegate. Anybody want to be named?
I'd like to name Trustee Sweeney as alternate.
Well, that was some feel the love back there.
I was going to nominate Corey Scott.
Well, you can if you'd like to.
Yes, I'd like to.
The floor is open for it.
I'd like to nominate Corey Scott for the TASB delegate.
Okay, so we have.
Alternate, yes.
Alternate, I like that. Okay, are there any other nominations? All right, then it is closed for nominations. So then we need to entertain a motion for Danielle Swinney to be the 2025 TASB delegate alternate. So if anybody wants to make a motion?
I move that Danielle Sweeney. TASB.
Oh, wow.
We're not selling this position very well.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, so we have a first by Mr. Scott and a second by Mr. Humbert for Ms. Danielle Swinney to be the 2025 TASB alternate delegate. So, all in favor? All opposed? Oh, okay, Court, you got your,
You didn't call for any unreadiness. We'll skip it this time.
All right, so motion carries 7-0 for that. So because Ms. Swinney was the first trustee to be named, she has won that. So, Mr. Scott, you're off the hook. All right, then. That was fun.
It's an alternate, Danielle.
Right?
He's an alternate
It's an
alternate,
alternate.
okay?
See y'all after lunch.
Share his apple.
Earl, you better be there.
Checking attendance.
Right, you better be
Oh,
there.
I love it, I love it. Okay, y'all, moving farther into the agenda is a request to consider approval of Alvin ISD Tiered Mental Health Awareness Training Program for compliance with House Bill 3 and 19 Tax Code 153.1015.
So Board, our Strategic Plan Committee has been working on this under the Safety and Wellness piece in accordance with the requirements outlined in House Bill 3 and the Commissioner's Rule, Texas Administrative Code 19, Section 153.1015, Alvin ISD's developed a comprehensive tiered approach to provide evidence-based mental health training for all employees who regularly interact with our students. This plan distinguishes between employees based on their contractual status and the level of student interaction. Chapter 21 staff members, including teachers, counselors, campus administrators, who are required to complete the full youth mental health first aid course delivered through a TEA-approved provider. And this is about an 8-hour course. Non-Chapter 21 employees who serve in support roles but maintain regular student contact will complete a district-approved local alternative, which includes a series of annual online modules and a one-time face-to-face session delivered by our Alvin ISD social and emotional support staff. This dual pathway model ensures Alvin ISD meets both the letter and the spirit of the law while respecting the diverse responsibilities of its workforce. The comprehensive local alternative training plan has been evaluated against the competency requirements in the Texas Administrative Code 19, Section 153.1015, and is documented through internal completion logs and TEA Sentinel uploads. With this structured rollout, the district aims to train at least 50% of the required staff in this school year, 25-26, progressing toward full compliance by the 28-29 deadline. Approval of the program framework affirms Alvin ISD's commitment to the safety, wellness, and mental health awareness of all of our students and staff. And just, I think 2 weeks ago, we trained 241 of our staff.
Wow. Okay. I will entertain a motion for the Board of Trustees to approve Alvin ISD Tiered Mental Health Awareness Training Program for compliance with House Bill 3 and 19 TAC 153.1015.
I move that the Board of Trustees approve the Alvin ISD Tiered Mental Health Awareness Training Program for compliance with House Bill 3 and 19 TAC 153.1015.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Scott. All right. Do we have any, so we have a first by Mr. Johnson, a second by Mr. Scott. Are there any questions or discussion? All right, then hearing none, all in favor of the board to approve the Alvin ISD Tiered Mental Health. Did you have a question?
Oh, no, I was in favor in
Were
advance.
you getting ready to warm up there? Okay. Board of Trustees to approve the Alvin ISD Tiered Mental Health Awareness Training Program for compliance with House Bill 3 and 19 TAC 153.1015. Okay, you put your hand up now. Motion carries 7-0. Next agenda item is the request to consider approval of tax collection rate and excess debt collection.
Board in compliance with Property Tax Code 26.04B, the Board of Trustees is required to approve the tax collection rate of 98.89% and certify that excess debt collections are $0. This $0. This information was provided by Kristen Bullenek, the Brazoria County Tax Assessor Collector.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion for the board to approve the reference collection rate and excess collections as reported.
I move the board approve the tax collection rate and excess debt collection as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Garza. Is there any question? So we have a motion by Mr. Scott, a second by Mr. Garza. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, then all in favor of the board to approve the reference collection rate and excess collections as reported. Motion carries 7-0. All right, agenda item 15, request to consider approval of policy revision DNA, and that's the exhibit.
So board, annually, the district approves the teacher appraisal system, the Texas Teacher Evaluation and Support System, as we refer to as T-TESS, has a resolution to approve for the list of appraisers. For T-TESS, the teacher supervisor or a person approved by the Board of Trustees will appraise the teacher. The principal or assistant principal will be the appraiser unless a teacher requests the second appraiser. A second appraiser could be the assistant principal, or someone from the list of appraisers attached. Any of the appraisers from the list can be chosen from as long as the appraiser is state certified in T-TESS for the current year. We recommend continuing in the 24-25 school year and beyond or 526 school year and beyond, that the board approve the resolution and is effective until the board revokes such authority by further action.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion for the board to grant approval of policy revision DNA exhibit as requested.
I move that the board approval be granted for policy revision DNA as requested.
Thank you, Mr. Humbert. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you, Ms. Sweeney. So we have a first by Mr. Humbert and a second by Ms. Sweeney. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor for the board to approve the policy revisions DNA exhibit as requested. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. All right, request to consider approval of employment of personnel.
So board attached, you'll find additional recommendations for contracts for teachers and co-teachers, coaches. Just trying to see if there's any speech path, resource teachers, occupational therapists, for recommendation for hire for a contract.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion for the board, let me get my card, the board to approve the requested personnel items as presented.
I move that the board approval be granted for the requested personnel items as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Scott. All right, Mr. Johnson has made a motion, and Mr. Scott has seconded the motion. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor for the board to approve the requested personnel items as presented? Did you want, okay, so it's 7-0. Thank you very much. All right, so board, right now, we'll be going into agenda item number 17, closed executive session, and that's at 7:31 PM. And we will return, and so, yes, I sure will. But we will return, and these items that will not require a vote, so we won't be coming out to do a vote. We're going in for 551.074, discussion of personnel or to hear complaints against personnel, and 551.075, discuss safety and the deployment, specific occasions for, or implementation of security personnel or devices. All right.
Be still.
6:47 PM. The board is reconvening. Next on our agenda is an adjournment. I will
move to
entertain a
adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Mr. Humberg, is there a second?
I second.
Corey had his hand up. Danielle, is that okay?
Beat you, yep.
All right, so we have a first by Mr. Humbert, a second by Mr. Scott. We don't have any discussion on this item, so let's vote. All in favor of adjourning? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you.